Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to When Reality Hits with Jackson Brittany.
Hey, everybody.
All right, this week we have an amazing guest who is a fan favorite in Bachelor Nation, the amazing bartender from Bachelor in Paradise, Wells Adams.
Thank you.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for being here today.
I heard this is episode number 50, which I appreciate.
Yes, you are on the 50th episode. We just found out ourselves.
Yeah.
50th episode. Like, that is insane.
That is crazy.
I'll only come back if it's 100, 150. That's it.
I got it.
You're
You
like
know
our
what?
marker.
You're our marker.
Centennial, bicentennial, that's all I'm going to do.
You're our marker. I
It's
love
in
it.
my writer. He only does landmark shows.
I love it. And you're also doing a show on our premiere day for the Valley.
I know.
So this is a big day all around.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I wonder,
You walked in, you're like, how come you don't have anybody from the show? Because
Yeah.
we love you. We want you.
I know,
to be
but
part
like,
of this.
I wonder if people are thinking, like, is Wells going to be on this show? Like, why is he
Hey,
on?
you and Sarah live in the Valley,
Yeah,
so
I know.
can we persuade you to be on next season?
You actually live closer than some of the people on the show.
I know.
To be honest.
Do people know that you have a golf cart that you drive around a golf cart?
Some people do. They'll weigh me. I mean, the ones that see me out. Yeah.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
want to like out you or whatever.
No,
but,
I love it. I'm going to put my bar logo on my new
Yeah,
one.
it's going to have a
I'm
logo
going
and
to.
everything.
But I like drive. We live so close to one another. I drive around town and I see Jax in this freaking golf cart. And the first time I saw you, you flagged me down, and I thought someone was just like saying like, "Hey," because I have like a cool old car. I just thought someone was saying like, "Hey, nice car." And then I see it's Jax, and I'm like, I've got a lot of questions. Number one, I don't think this is street legal what you're doing right now.
It is. It is.
And you're like, I have a license plate back here.
You should no.
There's seat belts.
That's the first thing that people do when they stop me. Is that street legal? I go,
Yeah.
well, yes. There's plates on it. Here's the registration. Nobody knows, but golf carts are street legal. But people are just like,
Well, you have to make sure it goes above 30 miles per hour, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. It's not just your standard golf
Yeah, you
cart.
got
It's
the
got
governor off.
Yeah.
It's got the lifts. It's got the seatbelts. It's got the turning signals, the horns. It's got to go through the DMV certification before you get your sticker. And people are like, can I get one of these? And you know how much it costs me to insure that thing for 1 year? $300 for the entire year.
Oh, I
That's
didn't,
good.
$100.
I didn't know it was that cheap.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And I tell you what, like I only putt around the valley, right?
Yeah.
That's all I need to go. So it's perfect for that. It's
Well,
perfect.
the dream for Sarah and I is to eventually retire in a community where everyone gets around via golf cart.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the dream.
And then like the next level is like, I don't even know how this is legal, but sometimes there's like a Cadillac golf cart. You're like,
Yeah.
is Cadillac making these, or is there like a kit that you're getting?
So, or you know who's really big into those? In Orlando.
Yeah.
In Orlando at the golf courses there. I do a lot of golf charities out there, and everybody's got these souped up caddy type, or make them into Lamborghinis or Porsches or whatever, and people spend some coin on making these things. They're cut like stereo systems, TVs, and I'm like, man, it makes mine look like nothing. But you go out there, but that's Florida. That's just
Okay,
Florida.
well, I love
Florida,
for you
man.
guys to geek out over golf carts, but
Well, I just say that we live so close that I see
I
this
know.
guy driving around his freaking golf cart. That's how close we are.
Yeah, we literally,
It's
he's right
funny.
in the middle between Jackson and our house.
I know, and I appreciate because you guys have came to Jax's a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so close to our house that we can walk there
Oh, jealous.
and then get drunk and then walk home.
Oh, yeah, that's
which is nice.
awesome.
Even better.
It would probably take us like 20 minutes to walk. That's
Yeah.
too far.
It's a 9-minute golf cart ride.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Not bad. Okay, so we are a reality podcast. So I would love to. You started off, I know you did radio in
Yeah.
Nashville, and then you started off on the Bachelorette JoJo's season.
Mhm.
How did that get started for you? The whole Bachelor beginning.
Yeah, so I was a radio host in Nashville. Like I had my first radio show when I was 16. I went to school to
Dang,
become
at 16?
yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't very good. 91.9 KSBB Radio Stevenson. And then I went to school to be a radio host, and I did radio in college, and then I graduated, I moved to Nashville, and you kind of have to work your way up in the radio world. So I started it like as like a board op, and then I did like overnights, and then eventually I got like the night show, and then like people got fired or died or quit, and eventually I moved from like every day part that you could have to get to the morning show, which is like what everyone wants, right? And so I had a really popular morning show in Nashville on a really cool indie radio station called Lightning 100, which is still, you can still listen to it today. Great station. And then like iHeart was like, this asshole is taking way too many of our listeners, so we're going to come and steal you.
Oh, well, good.
So then I went to iHeart. I worked like I did like mornings on an alt station. I did afternoon drive on classic rock, and I did nights on CHR, which is like pop. So I was just like doing a lot of radio. I just like lived in a
I was going to say, I did Ryan.
In Nashville. All in Nashville.
All in Nashville.
Okay.
I was going to say, I did Ryan Seacrest this morning, and it was at 7:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you were always just like really early.
I just lived, well, so my schedule usually was, it was tough. I would wake up around 4.
That's so early.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I could never do it now. Like now, it aged me so much. But when I was like in my 20s, like I could do it, and I had this passion for it. It was also the only thing I was qualified to do. So before that, though, like when I was the overnight board op and stuff, I was like waiting tables and bartending, and I was making ends meet and burning it bright on both ends. But my schedule was I would wake up at 4. I'd get to the studio around 4:30. I'd prep my show. Like I didn't have producers and stuff. Like I was my own producer. I was my own tech. I'd prep my show. I'd build it out. I'd start it at 6. I would be live until 9:30. I'd voice track the last half hour. I'd go take a nap on my couch. Then I would have like music meetings, because I was like a assistant program director and a music director. And I'd have music meetings, and then I would go back in the studio. I'd prep for my afternoon drive show.
Dang.
And I would just do that until 7, and then I would go to a different studio, which was the CHR studio, the pop station, like Seacrest. I would do that show. Then I would leave. I'd have to host like beer bands and bingo and like cornhole tournaments. Like I did all that. And like at
you were
bars and
hustling.
stuff. Oh yeah, and then
ESPN, the Ocho kind of stuff.
Yes, and then I would have to go to like whatever venue was having the band, whatever band that we were promoting. I'd have to like bring them on and be like, "Cage Yellowfin, let's hear it for him." And then they come on. And
Is that your radio voice?
This was my radio voice. But when people say like "do the thing," I'll do like that. Is the new sound of Rebel Radio. That's what I think. What people want to hear.
Yeah.
So then that night would end at like 1, and then I would go to bed. And I wake up at 4.
Oh no!
I mean, you have to have
I'm
a
tired
passion.
just from hearing all that.
It was like I could never do it again. But anyway, so how this all came about was I used to do a bit on my morning show where I would go on auditions for things, and I'd purposefully kind of fail, because the bit wasn't me like getting the Meow Mix commercial or like me getting the Chinette paper plate commercial. It was me going over lines for the audition and then being so bad and being like inconsolable the next day when I didn't get the Meow Mix commercial because I forgot the lines of like Meow
and
Mix,
you would
Meow
like
Mix.
recap it on.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
I would listen to that
with my co-host. They'd be like, "Okay, what are the lines?" They're like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna come in there. This is what I'm gonna be wearing," and we'd like kind of paint the picture. And this was kind of before YouTube, and I'd video the whole thing and put it on Facebook. And
Facebook.
And I would definitely fail for the bit. Like I thought it was so funny that I would never book anything.
Right. And that was your kind of your shtick on the show. That's why
it was just like one segment we would do.
One of your segments, one of your most popular segments.
It was. I don't even know if it was that popular because I didn't get a whole lot of opportunities to do it. I did probably 10 of them.
Right.
But one of them turned out to be like my brother who lives in LA. He is like the life of the party, and he got approached by a casting director at Q's over in Brentwood.
Oh, yeah. I know it well.
Yeah, I think you guys film there every once in a while. I know the Hills.
One of the first bars that I've ever used to go to when I moved here at Q's. Yeah, I love that place.
Great bar, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Q's. So he got approached by a casting director, and he like went through the process, but then like ended up finding it's a long kind of process, and he found his now wife, and so he was like, "Guys, I'm not going to go on the show. I've got a girlfriend." So then like. Fast forward 10 years, my brother hears about this bit I'm doing. He's like, "Do you want to?" I'm still friends with the casting director for some reason. "Do you want to like go on an audition for The Bachelor?"
Oh,
and
cool!
I was like, "This will be so great for the show."
Yeah.
Like I'm going to go in there, be like too douchey we went over like what I'm going to wear and like what I'm going to say and everything. And I was like, I'm going to be too douchey for this. And it'll be so funny when they're like, you can't come on the show. Needless to say, I was like I was the right amount of douche. Like,
yeah,
did you take a page out of the Jax Taylor book of douchiness?
I don't know. I haven't read that chapter. Is it a good one?
It's a terrible one.
No, it was funny. Like, so they hit me up, and like I said, I was doing all these shows, so I had a very small window of when I could go on the audition. And like you guys know, this is a very like Hollywood thing to say, but I told them, hey, listen, I got a radio show that I have to do, so I have a window, so I need to be the first one in, and I have a hard out at 11.
I have a hard out.
I straight up, I was like, I don't care for shit about this, but I do need to be back for my noon show.
The fact that you said hard out.
Oh, yeah.
You told the casting people that?
Yeah, I was like, I have a hard out. And they're like, I know they were like, who the f does this guy think he is? Number one. So I remember getting there. It was at a hotel in like downtown Nashville. And I get there and I was wearing like, it was during my like hipster era, which it still kind of exists. But I was like in all denim, like a slouchy beanie, you know, like I had a lot of like pins and stuff on my jacket.
Flair.
A lot of flair. I had the 14 pieces of flair that I needed. And I remember walking in and all the other guys that were going for the audition were there and they're all in suits because in their mind, they're like, I want to wear what I'm going to wear when I get out of the limo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, we are starting off good, boys. Like, I'm not even in the right like outfit right now. So I went up to the audition thing, and these two women were filming us on like a camcorder. And they were like, so you're a radio host? And I was like, yeah. And they said, okay, we'll do like exactly what you just did, like do your radio voice, like do a radio bit. And I had just done this, what I thought was a really funny bit on this show. And so I did it for them, and they were dying laughing. And then like 45 minutes expire, and they're like, I was like, I gotta go, guys. I have a heart out. And they're like, so what are you doing in like March and April and into May? And I'm like, my job, you know. And they're like, you might want to block that out. So that's how I got on the show.
Did they tell you immediately, like they told you that day, or was it like they're going to reach out?
More or less, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I remember when they asked me, like, what are you doing during this time?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
says, okay.
I was like, did I get this?
Yeah.
That is crazy because it changed your whole life, I'm sure.
For sure. But I had been in like a long relationship with this one girl and like just didn't work. And I got like, she dumped me. And I remember like, I was able to do the mental gymnastics of like, maybe this works. Like, who knows, you know? But if not, like, I'm gonna have so many good radio stories for you.
For sure.
You know? It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So wait, on your season, had people started wearing like crazy outfits whenever they got out of the car yet?
Yeah, it's funny. So I played rugby with a guy in college who dressed up like Santa, and his name was Nick. And so I get there. I had a cool bit. My bit was I got out of the limo and I go, like, hey, JoJo, I'm Wells or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm a radio host. And like, I found that like the best way to tell someone how you feel is through the majesty of song. And she's like, what? Okay. And I was like, I brought some friends with me. And so out of the limo was the guys for All for One who sing, and I swear.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like holding my ear like, I swear. And I remember looking at JoJo, who at the time I was 31 when I went on the show. She was 25, I think. And I remember looking at her going, he has no fucking clue who this band is. I got like, no clue. So those guys.
Did you know?
She was like, oh, I love this song.
Okay, good.
Because I had to be like,
I love that song.
I was like, and for America, it's all for one.
Yeah.
And they followed me around that night, and they would just sing. And every time I was like,
that's awesome.
It was actually like a really funny bit. Like I remember doing an interview, like a stand-up interview, and they're like in the background singing. I'm like, hey, guys, cut it. Like, I got to do this.
I love it.
So anyway, so this guy gets out of the limo dressed up as Santa Claus, and I think the producers really liked me. Like, I was a good storyteller. Mm-hmm. I think they all had like a lot of faith in how well I was going to do. And so I see Santa Claus, and I am like, this guy, I know this guy. And he's like, kind of gives me like a Santa Claus wink and everything.
Santa Claus wink.
And all of a sudden, I run up to him, I grab his thing, and I pull it down, and I'm like, it's Nick! We have this huge hug, And so immediately producers grab us and they're like, hold on a second. So they sit me down and they're like, are you just like a big fan of Christmas? Like, why are you so excited to see Santa Claus? And I was like, I know that guy. I played rugby with him in college. And they were like, no way. How do we miss this? And
the world is so small.
Yeah.
It is. What
So
did, my question, when you saw her for the first time, because this was your first time seeing her, correct? Did you like have an initial like? Were you attracted to her? Did you think, well, this is
JoJo's gorgeous?
I know that, but I know she's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that away. But when you saw her first off, were you like, all right, this will work?
It was interesting. My season was unique in the fact that we didn't know who it was going to be,
right?
And so they kind of sequester you into a hotel beforehand, and all the kind of gossip magazines and the Reddit of the time was saying it was going to be this girl Kayla Quinn. And so we all just assumed we were going to go meet Kayla. And I remember producers actually came in, they filmed us on their phones because they had a Good Morning America or like a late night thing where they announced that it wasn't Kayla, that it was JoJo. And like they tried to get our reactions.
Oh, yeah.
And they were both beautiful. And also I'm into brunettes as my wife. So I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. They're both brunette. We're good.
Yeah.
But I did what I said. I said something to the effect of like, "You are way out of my league," and then I walked up and I said, "Hey, I'm Wells, whatever."
It's so cute.
That is
all
a cute
the
story.
all the intros I just love.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you think like? I know there has been a lot of successful relationships out of The Bachelor. Do you think people really fall in love that fast, or do you think it's more like the competition makes you feel like you have feelings faster than you really do?
Yeah, I think it does work, and I'll tell you why. I think that it's much more realistic when it happens on my show on Bachelor in Paradise.
Which I want to talk about too.
Yeah, but I can understand how people can get there. I didn't get there personally on the season with JoJo, but they take away your phone. You can't watch TV. You can't really listen to music. Like I brought a book, and they were like super pumped about that. So like, you really have nothing to distract you other than like think about this person, and then all you're doing is really basically doing therapy. You're sitting down talking with the producer about your feelings every single day, and it's like, I
trust me.
Yeah, you guys get it.
Oh man, whether you want to or not, you're like, you need to know your feelings. What's your feelings?
Everything.
You're like, I don't really want to talk about my feelings right now.
But yeah, I get why. Like, I remember it deeply affected me, like, in how I thought about relationships afterwards. How I like went about relationships afterwards. It was actually really good for me to. That was very much like every guy like walls up, like tough guy, and then you do this like basically this like boot camp of like relationship therapy. And afterwards I was like so in tune with like how I felt about things. So I can understand how people got that. That
makes a lot of sense. I've never looked at it that way.
And when you can really only think about one thing and talk about one thing, you can actually like really expedite the process. For Paradise, I think it's so very believable.
Well, now you're on the other side of it a little bit. There's no pressure. You get to be yourself. You don't have to worry about anything. You're on there. You're the bartender. You get to everyone's vibe. I mean, I feel like you have the best job. Really, you got the best job on that show.
We're good friends with Hannah and Dylan, through Lori and everybody. I've met so many Bachelor people through Lori, our publicist. Yeah, Pilot Rachel, you know, and Blake Moynes. We have spent a lot of time with them. But Hannah and Dylan are married, and that was all Bachelor in Paradise.
And I helped that.
You did?
I take a lot of credit for that.
Tell me how you take the credit. I want to hear.
So, I mean, I'm a kind of a trash bartender, but I am a good like.
I hear that you're like a therapist on the show.
Yeah, I'm really more of a therapist than I am a bartender. And I'm like a safe place
Maybe
to
you
go.
should do therapy for me and Jax.
Yeah.
Or just me.
Or just Jax.
I'm the one with all the scaffolding. As Bill Burr says, I have scaffolding all over me. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no. So Hannah is like drop dead gorgeous. And so
she's like Barbie.
Yeah, everyone was going after her, and I took a liking to Dylan. He's a sweet guy, smart kid, and he had to go through it to like get the prize that was Hannah.
Because she had like two guys, right?
Yeah. Everyone was after her.
Okay.
But yeah, she was in like a love triangle, so I had to do a lot of like coaching him through it. And there were times when he was spiraling out and like about to make bad decisions, and normally if someone's making a bad decision and I don't like them, then I won't say anything because television.
What made him what made him win? Like what made him better than the other two? Did you help? You said you helped him out. What did you give him like the edge, or how did he give the edge?
He started freaking out, and he was like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a lot of like, I'm going to go tell her how I feel, or like, I'm going to go confront this other guy about her. And I remember being like, you need to chill out.
Right.
Like, first of all, it's a little thirsty looking. Like, that's not what we need. I think you need to just be the cool guy, sit by the bar, put out the vibe. I'll make you drinks. We'll chill and like slow play this. Cause that's what happens a lot. Like you start to freak out. They go on dates. You're like, they're going to leave me and all that stuff. And I remember being like, I think that she's one of those people that has been sought after for so much of her life that she doesn't want the guy who's like freaking out. You know, she wants the cool guy. So I remember that like piece of advice and just being like, hey man, just chill.
Yeah, that's good advice because that can be like a lot.
It is. It can be. Happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, you're so sought
I was always more after the girl who wasn't playing the game, not the ones that were so, into it.
Yeah.
But I just think like if I could have any job on that show, I think you won the jackpot of being kind of like the therapist. Yes, you're the bartender, but you're more or less the therapist. You give them your 2 cents and what they should and shouldn't do, and I think that's awesome.
Do you make mojitos? Jax won't muddle on muddle drinks.
I won't muddle shit.
No, I'm not. I don't muddle anything. That's kind of was on my.
You guys, I'm a better bartender than both of y'all, and you guys are more famous for being bartenders than I ever was.
Do you think now? And how many seasons ago was when you were on The Bachelor? How many seasons was that? A long time ago.
Season 12, right?
Season 12.
So how many years ago was that?
Well, we just wrapped our 8th season of 9th season of Paradise. This was my 7th season as the bartender. So it was like 8 years ago.
Okay, so do you think now that people are going on The Bachelor for alternative reasons, influencing?
Yeah,
they're not going there for love anymore. Can we be honest?
Well, I think that was always the.
So you think it was like that way since the beginning? Like, okay, hey, I may not find love, but you know what? I'll get something else out of this.
A social media career is like.
It's
big bucks these days.
Big bucks.
But it's not what it used to be, though. It's very interesting. Like, these kids are not getting the same amount of following that, like...
They used to. The Bachelor people in the beginning would get 100K right off the bat.
Like, so I got in right before social media popped. Like, the season before, no one... from like Caitlin Bristow's season, no one had social media. Right. It wasn't a thing. And then mine was like the first one. And I remember I had 13,000 followers. I remember that before I went on the show because I was a radio host in Nashville, and that was a ton of followers.
Yeah, I had 4,000. I thought I had a lot.
Yeah. And I remember, and Jordan Rogers, who worked at ESPN, or he worked in radio, but he worked on the football side of stuff, or the sports side. He had 8,000. And I remember I was like, well, I have the most followers of anyone here, whatnot. And no one really gave a shit about that. And then it was like the next year, it was like...
kept growing.
And people were getting 1 million followers, 2 million followers when they would go on the show. And then it became very much like this side quest that you could go do. But now it's interesting because, yes, I think that for sure. I think people go on the show for ulterior motives.
Right.
Or they're like, well, if it doesn't work out, at least this happens.
I mean, I feel like that's with every show nowadays, though. Like, some people might actually fall in love while they're there, but like Love is Blind, for instance, they get a lot of followers. Love Island, they get a lot of followers, you know?
I honestly think, you can tell me till you're blue in the face that's not true, but yes, I do believe that's the main reason why they go on. And if they meet somebody great, but they're going in for being an influencer. I
think it's more, I don't even know if it's the influencer thing. Because now I'm like we had a bachelor, like a couple bachelorettes in a row, like didn't get over like 800,000 followers, which like that was that used to be like if you're just the bachelor or the bachelorette, you're like well over 1 million.
Yeah. Does that mean you think the show is kind of tearing off?
I think that we reached like a critical mass. Like there's only so many bachelor people you could follow if you're a social media user,
right?
It started to uptick again. Like these. I know that this Maria girl got a lot of followers, and then this other Daisy girl got a lot of followers. So I think maybe we're getting back there. But I do think it kind of took a big dip, and now it's coming back up.
How many girls selling tummy teas.
Oh, I know.
At one time.
But I'm sure
FabFitFun guy.
I did FabFitFun for a long time.
We did it all too.
I think I did it.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I'm a guy.
There was a
God, why am I doing this?
There was a time.
It's a scarf, guys.
There was a time when the FabFitFun, the 300 tummy teas, was really popular, and I remember the company 310. They rented a house, and they would just cycle out people. There was people from The Bachelor, from our show, from all these shows, just coming in, doing a shake, leave. Another company do a shake. So they were just banking on all these Bachelor, Vanderpump people, whatever it was, and they were just kind of going through. So it was kind of interesting to see. But everyone, like you said, how many times are you going to watch the same person say, "Come and try tummy tea"?
Yeah. But I think
everybody shit their pants.
Yeah.
Oh,
diarrhea tummy tea. I think there's a little bit of. I think people want their 15 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
And I totally get that too. Like, it's a very interesting experience to go through. I always have like this big powwow with cast before we start filming Paradise, because that show is a comedy. It opens as a comedy. Like, yes, there's love and you're going on journeys and, it's dramatic. But like, for the most part, like, this is a funny show. And I'll be like, hey, listen, like, there's a good chance like you're probably not going to get invited back to this thing. Like, this is going to be...
It's a one and done.
Yeah, it's not like Vanderpump where, like, you have seasons and stuff. Like, this is kind of it. And I'll always kind of impress upon them to be like, make really fun TV.
Yeah.
Like, don't be crazy and don't do things you wouldn't normally do. But remember, like, this might be the last time you do it. And it's more of that, like, I think that you'll get the most out of it if you think of it that in terms of, like, this is my 15 minutes probably ending right here.
Well, that's probably why Bachelor in Paradise is so great, because it does bring some of the people back.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they probably came across some really cool contestants, and they were like, man, I'd love to bring these people back. How can we do that? Here's an idea. Yeah. Let's throw them all on an island.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely our all-star team, for sure. It's people who are really good at it.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
No, it is.
And it's really fun. Like,
I want to see Johnny Bananas on it. I think he would do good.
Well, he's not a Bachelor person.
Okay, so do you... I think I can spill this because I went on his and... he told this secret. He wasn't supposed to.
Oh, gosh,
but
what?
He put it out. So Johnny and I have known each other for a while. I went on Worst Cooks in America with him, and I went against him in the finals, and I beat him. So the greatest challenged guy in any whatever got beaten by me in a competition show. And I love that I have that over Johnny.
Yes.
Bananas. But so we became friends, and we wanted to get him on the show. And he went to go do the challenge. And, in the challenge, they take away your phone and all this stuff. So we were like waiting for the call, and we were hoping that like he was going to get voted out early and have to come home. And then we were going to bring him in. We had this whole idea of how we were going to do it because.
Oh, you're going to bring him on to Bachelor in Paradise?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was going to be, I mean, maybe we can still do it. I think that ship sailed a little bit, but like it was going to be a thing of, hey, listen, this is my friend. I vouch for him.
Yeah.
Like he deserves to find love. As much as
he
the
doesn't
rest
want
of you.
love. He just loves being a bachelor playboy. He's good at it.
He's just so good at making reality TV.
Yeah.
He is. I filmed House of Villains with him, and we became really, really good friends. And I love the guy to death. He's we've both been in each other's podcasts. Comes to my bar. We've been hanging out. Like that was the one positive thing that I got out of being on that show.
Yeah.
I really, him and I just hit it off right off the bat. It was, there's all kinds of different people, but him and I just very similar. Sports, drinking, working out, girls, cars. Like that's just what we like.
Yeah.
So. We just hit it off really good, but he's such a cool guy, really cool guy. I see, just from you talking, I could just totally tell, like, this is like something that I feel like you like to be behind the camera rather than in front.
Oh, for sure. Like going back to my
I can see you working for The Bachelor. I can see you like they're hiring you as a head producer, or like because you're so good at it. And
that's why he's the therapist bartender.
Yeah. I feel like you're not done there. Regardless if The Bachelor Paradise ever ends, I feel like. They're going to keep you around.
It will never end.
You're like, please no.
I'll be 84 years old doing this fucking show.
Bartending.
And now they've got the old people Bachelor and Bachelorette, right?
Yeah,
like the
old people.
And I was like, I pitched it too. I was like, okay, we got to do Golden Bachelor in Paradise. And like everyone needs to roll up in a golf cart. It needs to happen in Palm Springs or like in like Del Boca Vista.
Boca Vista. Yeah.
And like,
Naples.
I want like dates to be on shuffleboard courts, and I think it'd be so funny if like you don't get a rose and you have to leave, and you have to leave in a golf cart.
Yeah, and
it's just a GoPro on you, and someo's driving you away. It's like, are you okay?
There's a huge generation that would love that. And how did it do?
They did good, I think.
It did really well.
Yeah.
It actually was like a huge shot in the arm for ABC and for the show. I do think that I think also like a pie in the sky greatness for that would be a crossover Paradise where you bring in both young and old people.
Yeah.
And then see who like wants to go coug hunting, you know?
Right. or you know, single parents. What about like, you know, something like that?
I mean, are you trying to get...
No.
What are you doing here, Jax?
I knew she was going to go there as I said that, but I'm thinking of other things like, you know, or widowers or something
He's
like
literally like single parents, and then I could see in your eyes they like lit up like a Christmas tree. You're like, did I really just say that?
That is one. No, I don't want to go on.
There's a show called MILF Manor. Have you heard of that?
Yes. That is hilarious, and the name is awesome.
Wait, should we get in? I really want to hear about this pizza.
Okay, Jax wants to talk about
I want to hear about dough. Okay, we're going to do a little transition here. We're going to talk about best in dough.
Yeah.
Explain that. How did that happen? You and I have the same manager, so I kind of got a little gist of what it was about, but not everything. How did you? So do you love pizza?
No, but so I like cooking.
Right.
I mean, like I went on Worst Cooks in America.
I was going to go on that show. I was filming something else at the time. Remember?
You should still go. Like it's a really fun show to do.
I mean, he doesn't know how to make anything.
No,
that's the bit.
No, the whole thing was Brittany was on vacation and I didn't know what to do, and I was talking about going to get Domino's pizza and I was something like that, and then they saw that and they called Ryan. We would love to have him, but it didn't work out. But anyway, go ahead.
So
I don't want to stay away from you.
No, I already did it. So you can do it now. Okay. So yeah, I like to eat, like to cook. That was a funny thing of like I did Worst Cooks and I was like I'm not a bad cook.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't worry about that. Okay, fine.
So now we know why you beat Johnny.
Well, so at the end, I don't really care anymore. I'll ruin it for everybody. But like at the end, I win so Johnny and I go out and get drinks and I was like, Johnny, I feel really bad. Like I'm not a great cook, but I'm not a bad cook.
Right.
And he's like, I'm Italian from like upstate New York. Like I'm also a very good cook. And I was like, oh, okay.
So y'all cheated.
Good gameplay, buddy.
Both of y'all cheated.
Yeah. So the way that the Best in Dough came about was it was just a straight up an audition. And it was funny too, because I was in Africa with my brother for his 50th birthday and they wanted to do a chemistry read. And that's like, for people that don't know, it's like, you get into a room with like whoever you're acting with or whoever you're making the show with, and you see if like you have got chemistry together. And with the time change, it was like midnight there, and I was in like a hut in the middle of nowhere, looking at like lions and tigers and bears, and they were like, hey, can you have them order you a pizza so you can try the pizza and talk with everyone? And they were like, you are in the bush. So they made me some weird like warthog flatbread thing that was like not fire at all. And I was having to do this chemistry read with this guy, Daniele Aditi, who is the owner of Pizzana in LA. If you've ever been there, it's so good. And he was going to be like the main judge and I was going to be the host. And so it was like us talking about pizza. And anyways, it was, midnight for me and I was eating this warthog pizza. And for some reason, like it worked. Like
warthog pizza just sounds so gross.
Sounds so gross, but delicious also at the same time.
Yeah, it's ham.
I'm thinking pig.
Yeah,
so
it's ham.
At the end of the day, maybe it's just got a little kick.
It was just very weird.
Okay,
All right. I think I did like make a Timon and Pumbaa joke where I was like, "This is not a Hakuna Matata." Anyway, so they liked me. They liked my repertoire with Daniele and like the other judges. And then we went and filmed it, and like I will concede that like with Bachelor in Paradise, it's like the best gig in the world. Like I go to Mexico, I go to a really beautiful place in Mexico.
Yeah.
I get to stay in a pretty nice place. I go and I film 10 hours a day, watching like a great dumpster fire burn in front of me. Like I'm kind of a part of it, but I'm like no stakes in it.
Yeah, it's not really your drama.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And also like I can make myself a drink if I want to just be like, oh, I need a martini now. And shooting Best in Dough was exponentially so much more fun to make than Paradise.
Oh, wow.
We shot 10 episodes in 10 days. Every day was a pizza party.
Okay.
I did gain a bunch of weight, but anything for the craft. And after every day or two, Daniele would be like, "I'll make everyone pizza." Cast, crew, everyone, and he was so good at it. and it was just the most fun experience. I loved like working with him. I loved making the show. It was a bummer. It didn't get picked up for season 2, which makes no sense because it was like super cheap to make. Everyone loved it, but it was like coming at a weird time with like, I don't know, Disney merger and all this kind of stuff. But anyways, looking back, like, I absolutely loved it, and I would like highly recommend trying to host a cooking show.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
No, interest in like doing something like on YouTube with it or something like that. They didn't want to do anything like that.
I mean, I guess we could probably do that.
It's a lot of work though.
It was a weird thing. Like, they paid to hold the set for like a year,
right? Because they weren't sure.
So everyone thought it was going.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like we had like a pickup meeting at the last second. It didn't go, which is just a bummer. Like, it was just such a joy to make. It also was. I remember when we were like talking about kind of what the show is going to be. I was like, I just really don't want it to be mean-spirited because there's so many cooking shows that are like Gordon Ramsay's like kind of a dick to everybody.
Yeah,
you know? And you're like,
that's his shtick though.
Yeah,
they're kind of scary sometimes.
And I was like, I just don't want this as a pizza show.
Yeah.
Like, and so it was. I mean, like, we did give him like constructive criticism, like, and when things weren't good, like we spit it out or whatever. But like for the most part, it was just like really, really fun.
Yeah.
And
it looked really fun. I watched a couple episodes.
Yeah,
it was really good.
And like being on set was just like really joyful and everything.
That's good,
so
that makes a huge difference.
So where can people find this right now if they want to watch season 1?
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu right now, and it's called Best in Dough, which I love the name of that. By the way.
Yeah,
great name.
I would love. Have you seen Nailed It on Netflix? I would love to
Brittany's
be
obsessed with that show.
A judge or a host of that. Like that, just laughing all day long. I mean, the stuff that people make on there is hilarious.
That's the kind of ones we like. The ones where they kind of just make fun of everybody and they're lighthearted and they have the guest judges and you're kind of like, oh, the people that don't know what they're doing is the best to watch. Also, though, during Christmas time, the ones that are really good are also really fun to watch. Some of them, like that chocolate maker, we love that one.
Oh, that guy's crazy.
That guy,
he is so good.
Yeah. He's like, what a really good-looking guy. And he's in Vegas, and he doesn't make a mess, and he makes these like, do you notice that? Do you notice there's no mess?
Yeah.
That's just such a weird thing to like point out. But
I know, but I'm looking at the whole thing, and like, I just in my head, I'm already I'm like watching this, and I'm full of chocolate.
Yeah.
Like he's just like making this chocolate, and and it's just going together, and I can only imagine what he charges for his things. Yeah. He must just make bank. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, and he doesn't
that's
ever.
So funny that's what he picks up on.
He doesn't ever get messy. His hair is perfect all the time. He's really good looking. He looks like a Formula One driver.
He's always smiling too.
He's always smiling. Yeah. He's in Vegas. He's making he's working with chocolate all day. Like, this guy's got it made.
Yeah.
What show is that called? It's something with chocolate.
Yeah. Everyone knows what we're talking about.
What's it called,
really
Steve?
Something with chocolate?
I can't remember. I don't know, but it's only been season 1. And I'm like, how is there not a season 2 of that?
So you've been on Bachelor in Paradise for judge for 7 seasons, you said?
Yeah. I think it was our 8th season.
But you were the bartender for
8 seasons, 7 or 8 seasons. Okay. I don't know. A lot.
Okay. Who would be because so many people obviously wrote in questions for you. Who would be your favorite couple to come from Bachelor in Paradise?
Joe and Serena. That's number 1.
Oh, yes. I love them, too.
I also married them.
Oh yeah, you did. I remember seeing her pictures. I went to Cabo with her. She's like one of the nicest people.
She's also like ridiculously beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous.
Have you seen her mother?
On her photos, I have. I haven't seen her in person, but I've seen her on her Instagram.
So I get there and I have to marry them. And so I meet her mom and I go, wow, you look just like Serena. And she goes, no, honey, Serena looks just like me. And I go, no, honey, you look like the 25-year-old. And she was like, damn, you're good. And I was like, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, they're number 1 for me.
Because you're really close to Joe, too, right?
Yeah. So we filmed 2 shows together and we put him through it on 2 seasons. But he's just such a lovable guy and a very real guy. Like, he was definitely not someone who like thought about getting Instagram followers. Like the first season he went on in Paradise, he got kicked off like the first night of being on The Bachelorette. So like he didn't know how any of it worked. And then he just became so lovable. And he sat at my bar, and he is the only person to this day that will sit and drink a beer with me down there.
Oh,
because everyone else is so terrified of a carbohydrate. Because they you know,
the shirts off, dude.
That is hilarious.
They've got abs from tits to taint, so like they can't like anything, any sugar or anything. So, but Joe will be like, "Yo, let me get a beer," because he's so Chicagoan. from Chicago. And so we'll sit there and drink beers together, and I love them. I would say that Dylan Hannah would probably be number 2. I don't know. There have been so many.
Yeah, there has been a lot.
Sorry, real quick. School of Chocolate on Netflix. School of Chocolate. Okay,
Go back to your chocolate obsession.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I went to New York Fashion Week with Joe and Serena.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to spend some time with them. They're a great couple. And you can tell they're both super real.
Yeah.
You know?
They're the best.
Serena's done my podcast and stuff as well. So they were
Are
awesome.
these fire questions?
I just have a couple questions from some fans.
Okay.
This is from AMT10190. Is there a limit to how many drinks he can give the cast?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys have a limit when you film?
No. God, no.
That's so great. We didn't used to, and then there was a scandal, and then we had to stop.
That's usually what happens. Is somebody gets in trouble, then that's when they do the laws or the rules.
Well, it's a little silly, and I totally understand it that like insurance wise and like just protecting like Mickey Mouse, like I understand it, but we're in the business of like trying to get these people engaged and then eventually married, and I think it's a huge disservice to not allow people to see everything about someone before they kind of like make them get engaged. We don't make them, but like kind of encourage them to get engaged. And one very, very big part of learning who someone is how they act when they're fucked up.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if someone's a sloppy drunk, you're like, I'm not sure about this. And we kind of curtail that. And I understand, like, in terms of filming something, when someone's just like, and you're like, okay, you're not even, we can never put this on TV.
Yeah, I can't get the words out.
But for, like, the show and what I want them to do is find love, I think you should see that. But anyways, to answer your question, it's kind of changed a little bit, but it's 2 drinks an hour, effectively.
Okay.
So you can have a shot, you can have a mixed drink. You can't have like, let me get a shot and a beer and take it at the same time.
Okay.
I don't know why. You can't
finish it.
You can't order for someone else, which I think is a good rule just for life to keep you from not getting like roofied or something.
Yeah.
Because someone could order like, this is for so and so, and then they can drink it. So I understand that. But you can totally get around it. I do it by the hour, right? So like they'll be like, how much time do I have? And I'll be like, you've got 7 minutes left until you can order another drink. So what they'll do is they'll be like,
so you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
If somebody's not doing it for you, you have to do it yourself.
It's also so much pressure to put on me.
Yeah,
like,
what if you're
they're not paying me enough to be like the guy who decides who gets to have the drinks and stuff. But I have like this little book, and I have to like denote like how many you've had. But what they'll end up doing is they'll be like, what time is it? Okay, it's 4:56. Okay, let me get a shot. Okay, doom. Okay, let me get a drink. Boom. Okay. And then it's 5:03. Hey, let me get a shot. And you're like, you figured it out, buddy. So you can get around it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love it. Okay, this is from Amanda_Meyer. Who was the most demanding or bitchy Bachelor in Paradise contestant?
Oh, I won't say that.
Okay.
But I will say this. Every season, there is someone I hate. And you would never know, but it's always like, shit, you guys are in the service industry. It's so very telling, the character of someone by how they treat someone in the service industry.
Amen to that. Yes. I cannot. That is one of my biggest pet peeves.
What are you talking about looking at me?
I should have saw this from the beginning with this man.
But he is a bartender. How could he be mean? If
exactly.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
He's had his moments that have been.
I have had my moments. You know, after a few drinks and stuff, sometimes you get a little crazy.
Oh,
yes. Nothing like.
There's nothing more embarrassing to me. Like I was a service.
I think it's because I've been belittled so much, and then I think it's because I've been belittled so much, and then when I didn't have to do it anymore, I was just like, I would just take it out.
That's awful. That's
I know
awful.
It's an awful way, but it wasn't like right off the bat. It'd be like late at night after a few drinks, and I'd be pissed off if they like cut me off or something like that.
Yeah,
red flags.
Yeah, but there's a lot of red flags when you're with me. You should have known that.
God.
But it's funny. Every season, someone's like rude to me.
I hate that.
And I'll be like, I won't say anything. But I have so much more power than everyone realizes that I do, because I see everything.
And you've been for 7 or 8 years now. Like, they have to know you got more power.
Yeah, but if someone's like rude, when I get snapped at,
oh no,
yeah.
And if I find out someone's like talking, like if someone snaps at me, and then like there's an opportunity for me to give them advice that might help them, They are never getting that advice.
That's
I
so
want you
good.
out of here immediately.
Yeah, you're able to like kind of pick your favorites that way. Does that mean that you got to go to Fiji a lot though?
I went once.
Is it not awesome there?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I would say that Paradise is better than
Oh, really?
Fiji. Yeah.
Which part of Mexico is it for Paradise?
So it's in Sayulita. So you fly into Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, we love Puerto Vallarta.
And then you drive. Yeah, it's like kind of by Punta Mita.
Okay.
Anyways, it's at a real resort, right? So like where they do Love Island, it's just like a house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like where we film, it's a real resort. So like our crafty isn't like random people making food. It's like the resort's food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so fire.
That's good because you never know when you go to an all-inclusive resort if you're going to have good food or not.
Yeah.
But
That was
I
a
love
fun
that.
show to watch, though. We had Marco on. Marco and Hannah on.
After they won.
Yeah.
We had them on.
It seemed like a really cool show, except for the fact that these guys had their shirts off the whole time. I was like, I would have had anxiety the whole time. I would have just been working out, not eating. Like those guys are just walking around, shredded.
Yeah, no one was having beers.
No one was having beers, and they're all drinking out of these steel cups.
Yeah,
all the time.
See, he picks up on the weirdest things. He was all about the steel cups the whole time that he watched Love Island.
Cups, and I feel like other shows were picking up on it too.
Yeah.
And they were using steel cups.
Okay, so as we just mentioned, Wells is married to the beautiful Sarah Hyland. This question's from Jordan. I'm not good at some people's last names. Matiuska, maybe?
Yep.
What is the best part of being a husband?
I should probably listen to this.
Yeah, listen, Jack. Listen closely.
I'm sorry.
We get to have sex anytime we want to have sex.
Let me write that down. Okay. Write that down.
Oh, gosh.
No, I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice to have like a teammate. And I had this question, and it's not like the romantic answer, but it is like the one that's like, I think for me, the most real. So like, she's always going to be like Team Wells for anything that's going on, and like vice versa, right? Like we're each other's like biggest cheerleader, which is really important, especially in the industry that we're in, where it's like, it's a lot of no's and a lot of like, am I doing the right thing? Or like, am I cut out for this? Or like, so it's a lot of that. And so it's really nice to have someone just like kind of always be in your corner. The other thing I think is funny, sometimes I'll get a little too drunk, and she'll be like, it's time to get out of here. Let's go. And vice versa. Sometimes I'm like, hey, babe, we got to go. Things are getting a little crazy. And it's really nice to have someone who can like kind of save you from danger.
Yeah.
Especially in like the world that we're in, where people recognize you.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh God,
what did I say last night?
Yeah, exactly.
I've had those nights too. I'm not proud of it, but it happens.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those nights where you're just kind of praying that no one heard
and
that.
Especially with what we do too, because people know where to find us.
Yeah.
Like we used to be at Sir all the time. We're at Tom Tom. Now we're at Jax's. So it's like we're always taking pictures. So you got to really watch what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good one. Well, actually, this is funny. Who gets stopped for pictures more, you or your wife?
Interestingly enough, it'll be me. And it's not because I am a fraction of as famous as my wife. It's because when my wife goes out, she's like
always in a hat, glasses.
And I am very I've had the same haircut since like middle school. Like I have the same clothes. Like I always look like me. So when they see me, then they're like, that's got to be him. It's definitely him. And then immediately
they'll look for her.
But it's a very interesting thing. So she's an actress. So she plays different people.
Exactly.
I play myself on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So people who know me on TV, they
think
they know me.
Yep.
We say that all the time.
Which is lovely, but they don't think they know Sarah because obviously she's not Haley from Modern Family. She's not like some ditzy, And so I think that's very interesting. So it's this thing of they have a little bit of ownership over you because they know you.
Yeah.
They don't watch. They watch Wells.
Yeah. We know exactly what you mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
And sometimes people will just come up to you and just tell you what they think about your life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure for you guys all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My favorite thing, though, and I don't know if this happens to you guys, but it happens to me quite a bit, where it's usually a guy. He'll come up to me and he goes, "Hey, I have no idea."
All the time.
But my girlfriend,
my girlfriend or my wife,
my dog's groomer's sister's aunt's uncle loves you. It was love a picture. Be like, well, how did you know who I was then? Like,
my favorite. You can use this if you want. It's a great one. When they say, hey, listen, I have no idea who you are, and I always cut them off, then I go, I have no idea who you are.
That's what I say. I say that back. I go, I don't know who you are either. So they'll be with their friend like, who is this? I'm like, who are you? I do the same thing. I do the same thing because it annoys me. It annoys me when they go, I don't know who you are. Like, you don't have to say that.
But you know why they're doing that, though, right?
I don't know. What's the reason why they do that?
I've thought about this a lot. So what they're doing is they're coming up to someone and interrupting someone, which they know innately is a rude thing to do, and so they feel bad about themselves for doing it. So I think subconsciously what they want to do is they want to bring you down a little bit so they feel a little bit better about what they're doing to you, which is kind of interrupting you.
I think it's rude right off the bat.
You look so much prettier in real life.
Is that what they say to you?
You're a lot bigger.
We've heard, you just hear like random things like that. It's like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? I mean, does that mean I'm like busted on TV? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. My thing is like, I'm so grateful and glad when people come up to me.
Oh, for sure.
I want them to.
Yeah, we love it.
I
but
love
the
it.
like subtle jab of like, I don't know, you're like, fuck, man, I know. I was just sitting here eating chicken wings, man.
Exactly.
I'm like, shit.
I will never ever turn down a picture or whatever, just because they're the ones that
that we have to
pay my bills. This is how I pay my bills. Like, again, I'm not an actor, so it's this is our life. This is what we do. So I owe it to them. I owe them everything. Every time we go to BravoCon or whatever, I'll stay the extra 10, 20 minutes and 30 minutes to make sure that person gets a picture.
Yeah.
It's just the right thing to do.
Ooh, you're such a good man.
And that's the more you know.
Okay. Let's end this talking a little bit about the Valley, since we have to. Because
I have so many questions about everything, by the way.
This is our premiere. We're recording this on every Tuesday we record. So today is actually tonight. It'll come out. But Wells was at our premiere party we had a couple days ago. So we all got to see the episode already. What do you think so far, Wells?
I think it looks awesome. I find it funny, like the demo that you're going for, because I'm in the same demo of like you're married and like people, all your friends have kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think there is a huge like kind of gap in that, because you have like the housewives who are like,
that's what I tell
old.
People ask me that all the time. I go, we're not quite Vanderpump, but we're not quite Housewives. We're in that middle part where we're kind of we don't really know where we stand, but
and we're not like super millionaires. Like
we're not multi-millionaires. So it's kind of like we have our own little niche, our own little spot. That's what I kind of tell everybody. But the first episode was okay. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's great.
But here's the thing about first episodes.
We got to introduce everybody.
That's the thing about first episodes on new shows. They can tend to be a little bit boring because we're introducing everybody. We're introducing the whole cast and who everybody is. So as soon as we get that out of the way, then it gets into it. So I just want to make sure.
It was still such a cute episode.
It was very
so
cute.
Good.
It was very cute.
It felt good to be back.
I was just
even though my mouth was like
I was just annoyed because I already know everybody, and I'm like, let's get into the good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, next episode starts the drama, so
right off
be
the bat.
prepared. But we're thankful that you came, even though you had to stand outside for a minute.
And if we do get season 2, I mean, you're right down the street.
I know.
Have your people talk to my people. That's
right.
And we have the same people. Can I ask a question about
for
turn
sure.
it around.
Tom Sandoval scandal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a genuine question. And so it's Tom and Ariana, right?
Yes.
I'm very confused. And maybe you guys can answer this. So I understand that like he cheated on her.
Yes.
So I'm sorry to all listeners. I don't really know this that well. I just like have from the reading of the headlines, but I just want to get things under control. So he cheated on her. They were together for a really long time. That's what's really messed up.
Yeah.
Right?
And they have a house together.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the cheating; it was an affair.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
With somebody who was their best friend.
Yeah. And they're on the show or whatever.
Yeah.
But weren't other people on the show cheating with other people on the show?
Yes.
So yes, I understand like what he did was like really bad, just of like how long they were together. But like,
so has everybody else.
Yeah. So I thought that's the kind of thing. And now she's like on Chicago.
Yeah.
And she's on Dancing with the Stars. And it's like, well, hold on. Did everyone else get these perks?
No. I damn sure didn't when Jax cheated on me. I hated saying that, but you did.
You deserve Dancing with the Stars, damn it.
My Jeep, this was before we were married.
Trophy?
This is before we were married. But you make.
I can laugh about it now because it's been so many years, but it's weird.
It's funny you say that because that is kind of the underlying thing that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to get like something scorned to be able to do have all these opportunities? Not saying she doesn't deserve it. She does. She's really good. She went to school for this, and this is what she wants to do. But yeah, it is kind of the running joke because everybody on the show, maybe one or two, but mostly everybody on the show.
I was never involved in a cheating scandal. I will say that.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying, majority of the men, well, the girls too, were on that. So that's kind of the running joke. They're like, how is this any different? The difference is that everybody else in the show, it was like okay, you slept with somebody and then it was over. This was an affair.
Yeah, I
with someone's friend in the group.
Well, and also kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like people feel like they know your lives, and they had been a couple on a show for like 9 seasons straight. So people really thought they knew them, and like whenever they found out that Raquel was cheating with Tom and they were best friends, and she was staying at their house all the time. It was right in front of their face for like 6 months before they found out.
I get that it's gross.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to
took off though.
No, because it's
difference.
Like, in all fairness, everybody should have had those opportunities. Is what you're basically saying.
I mean, Randall like did Lala so dirty, and like there was just a lot of different things.
Kristen and Tommy, it's really incestuous to be honest. Like
you, Stassi, Kristen. I mean, there's like a lot.
Yeah.
But then my other question is I don't know Tom. I've never met him.
Just stay away.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I don't really care either way. But like, there's a part of me, the guy who like helps make television shows. A part of me is like, is this like Machiavellian? Like, did he plan this? Because this is genius. He made everyone so much money.
He made a show. Himself.
I know, and the show became so much bigger because of him.
Yep.
And there's a part of me that's like, is he like crazy as a fox here? Like,
you got to remember, and then like, you know, there was stuff at home that happened that went really bad with his family, with his friends. It went really, really dark for him for a while, like super, super dark.
Yeah, but I think he's starting to climb his way back up.
He is. Okay, at the end of the day, yes, he did an affair and cheated. Nobody died, though. Yeah. Okay, I think we went on a year last week of talking about this. It's been a year.
I
feel like it's
I don't want to.
No. It's a good question because I had the same when this all happened. That was my first thing. The selfish person that I am, like, well, where was mine? Or where was this?
Because you were the one being bad.
I know, but like, how come I didn't? You know, like it just, you know, not just me. I'm sure there was a lot of people. I mean, Sheena was like butthurt that she didn't get to go on Dancing with the Stars, and she wanted to go, and it was just the way it's just that again timing.
Hey, but I feel like the Valley got like.
Oh yeah,
kick-started way
faster.
And by
the way, I thank you, Tom Sandoval, because my show wouldn't have been on today if it wasn't for that situation. Like Brittany said, it got kick-started because of what's going on.
And another small world thing, bringing in together the three of us, is that Jasmine is a cast member on The Valley, and she was on. I think it was Nick is it Vial? Is that how you say it?
We don't talk about him.
Well, she was on his season.
Yeah, and she came to Paradise.
Yeah, and came to Paradise too.
Season 4.
So now she's a cast member on our show.
I know.
Love Jasmine, and I love her girlfriend. Love them both.
So again, it's kind of a small world. How everything's
no wonder
connected.
Things didn't work out with Nick. You know.
I have so many. I'll leave it at that. I just do not like that human being at all.
Oh, I was making more references of I love her girlfriend.
Oh yes,
she went on a dating show.
Yeah, her girlfriend Melissa is awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she is.
They're going to be at the bar tonight if you end up popping by.
Maybe I'll walk over.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Wells. You have 2 podcasts. Do you want to say?
Yeah. Where can we find you?
I do one podcast with Brandy Cyrus. I've done it since I was doing radio in Nashville. We used to do like a radio show together back then. And it's called Your Favorite Thing Podcast. And it's just basically like our favorite things of the week. So favorite shows we're watching, favorite music they're listening to, favorite books that we're reading.
I like that because it's positive.
Yes, mm-hmm. And that's how it all came about. Her sister Miley was like going through a scandal. I was like getting a lot of heat on Twitter, and I was like, we were like, how should we make this show? And I was like, I kind of just want to talk about stuff that's good and positive and that we like, and not talk about negative stuff. And she was like, boom, let's do that. So that's how that show came about, and it's great. And then I do another show that's it's a cooking show with Tyler Florence from Food Network, and it's called Two Dudes in the Kitchen, and basically we just talk about cooking, and we bring on chefs, and we answer questions, and he was actually on Worst Cooks in America. He was one of the celebrity chefs, and he, what?
I breathe heavy into the mic.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Nose breathing in the mic.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
So yeah, anyways, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, go watch that, and yeah, there's 9 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise you can go watch. I'm on that.
Best in Dough.
Yeah.
Watch that. It's really
Who knows
good.
what else is next?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be on The Valley.
And your Instagram at Wells Adams, right? Yes. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, thanks for having me.
50th episode.
Woo! And premiere night of The Valley. Everybody tune in every Tuesday.
Yes.
On Bravo.
We are on at 9 o'clock tonight following Vanderpump Rules.
We're directly after a Vanderpump Rules episode, so
Yep.
knock on wood.
All right, enjoy tonight's episode. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week. Thanks for listening to When Reality Hits with Jackson Brittany. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, y'all.
Are you looking for a new job or want a career change? Look no further than Monster.com. Need a little help standing out? Our expert resume writing services will make sure you shine. Want to brush up on your interview skills? Engage with our AI interview prep tool. Want some advice on negotiating your new salary? Visit our salary tools and extensive library of career advice articles, and you'll have all the tips and tricks you'll need to succeed. Visit Monster.com today and take the first step towards your career. Monster.com. Find your right job fit.